encourage the players to play their roles. And we are happy that actions are being taken by you, the partners in this field. We are very happy that the new government has taken up ICT, digital economy, as one of its key development agenda, and the authority is going to be up to it to make sure that we exploit whatever opportunity is granted to us. But this will also require that the players in the field also remain very attentive and active to take advantage of any opportunities granted by this new government. So as we prepare for the 12th session, I hope that we are going to meet in a much more dynamic, we are going to have a much more dynamic meeting after we launched the master plan last year. I hope that we will be discussing the details of how we can implement elements of that master plan in a very practical way. We, as the authority, want to remain a platform. I remember last year there were comments from the floor that the players must be driving the process. The authority is keen to remain just a platform, and you players driving your activities. And I hope that towards the end of our next session, you will really be having a committee that drives itself. The authority will be quite happy to have given birth to a self-generating committee that drives the connect from year to year. With these few remarks, I want to say that the authority remains committed to work with you. We look forward to a very fruitful meeting in 2 months' time. And I've seen that the CEO has made appeal for your contributions. I hope that your contributions will be coming. With these few remarks, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce one actor who, yes, sir, private player, yes. I would like to give opportunity to some of the private sector players who have been with us and who keep up supporting us. And I remain guided as to how they come up. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm told that the CS is coming in shortly, so we have to readjust our programs. Do I keep here or do I wait for him? Oh, thank you. Oh, yes, there he is.
I'd like to welcome, of course, our chief guest, Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Information, Communication, and the Digital Economy, CS Eliud Owalo, joining us for this particular Partners Breakfast as we get ready for Connected Summit 2023. I'll hand over the program back to our board chair to take it from there. Asante.
Thank you very much. We are now complete. When the CS had already started mentioning and announced that you are about to arrive, let me just stress one point which I made before you came in. As governments change, the players change. And above the board, there has been change in government, and Joe Musheru was replaced by Eliud Owalo. But I've said, Bwana CS, that we are lucky that we keep guided by equally young and agile CSs. So we expect ball of fire. Welcome. Now it is my great pleasure to welcome the Permanent Secretary in our ministry, Mr. Engineer John Tanui, to come and take on from there. Engineer. Yeah.
Thank you very much, our chair, for the good words of wisdom and also for steering us. I have not hijacked the PS's title, and I'm not about to. But let me first also welcome our Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Eliud Owalo, for being with us here today. We thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. CS, before you came, we have quickly just recapped the journey that we have walked with the industry as far as this summit goes. And you missed out on some very interesting videos in terms of the past connected summits. But we are happy that you're here, and we know in the next session of breakfast, we'll have the benefit of sharing the experiences from this connected. CS, allow me to please recognize our sponsors and partners who partnered with us in the last Connected Summit 2022. I'll just ask the leaders from those institutions to kindly come forward so that we can recognize you. All of you.
And because at times they could be a bit shy, we could just mention them as they come up. Dimension Data, if they're here. Dell Technologies as well, if they're in the room. Telkom Kenya as well. Oracle, Safaricom as well. Huawei Technology, the Communication Authority as well. GIZ, Amazon Web Services, Soliton Telmec, Convergence and Extreme Networks, Konza Technopolis Development Authority. Please come up. We'd like to recognize you for the work and partnership we had last year, and of course for what you do this year as well. TESPOC as well, ESET, Citibank, Logitech, Serianu, Isaka, the Kenya chapter, Computer Pride, Institute of Directors Kenya, Learnovate, KEPSA and eMobilis, KPC, the Kenya Pipeline Corporation, TechMax, ESRI, East Africa, 14, and the Kenya Film Commission as well. So if you've heard your company, you've heard your entity, please come on stage. We'd love to recognize your partnership, the relationship we had 2022, and of course look forward to an even deeper relationship as we get into the Connected Summit of 2023 as well.
Wow, the number is bigger than the stage, but we will squeeze in to have everybody in.
And even as we do that, I've just been informed we'd like to ask our chief guest, Tafadhali CS Owalo, to come on stage, of course, at this particular point. If he doesn't mind, please, for that particular photo op. Yeah. Thank you so much. Fantastic, asante sana. There you go, of course, being guided by the photographers as well to get that perfect shot. And I always advise, when you're on stage for these moments, please smile. You don't be the one person in that photo who wasn't smiling. I mean, pictures last forever, and you know the internet, it never forgets. So even as you look at the cameras, please afford a smile as you take this particular photo. Asante sana. And thank you so much for your partnership in 2022. And looking forward to an even better partnership in 2023 as well. Even as our partners take a seat, we'd like to call upon some of those partners who will come on stage and give brief remarks at this point in time. I'd like to call upon the Oracle country leader, David Bonet, for his remarks as well. Tafadhali. A round of applause for David as he comes on stage.
Our CS, Honorable Owalo, PS, John Tanui, Chairman of the Board, ICTA, the CEO, Data Commissioner, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's really a great pleasure to be here this morning. I think for some of us who've been in this journey for a while, it's always exciting to see the old faces, the new faces, but more exciting as well, the energy that we see this morning. I think, no doubt, CS and your team, you've done something, because I see a new energy, I see a re-emergence of the collaboration, I see really that energy that we've been lacking for a while. So thank you, CS, PS, and ICTA for all the work that you're doing. We're seeing that energy back, and we want to maintain that. And thank you again, CS, for joining us this morning. It shows your commitment and focus to make this a success, but also to bring in the industry. I think we saw a short while ago the journey that we've had since 2009. But I think some of you may not remember. I think we are quite old in the industry now. In 2007, 2008, we hosted ministry officials and government in the US at our different corporate headquarters. And I remember we had sessions in Sunnyvale, in San Jose, Mountain View, and eventually we had time together, and we brought all our Kenyans in the US to join us in that event. And post that event, we had a very strong collaboration that really came out to bring what the Connected is today, because it was an industry-government collaboration. And I remember, even more importantly, my friend Mushemi, who was then in the US, was challenged to come back home to be part of us. And I think that's really what we want to see again and again and again. So as we look forward to this 2023 event, I think no doubt we have our commitment to support and to collaborate and to work towards the success of the event. But beyond the event, we want to contribute based on what we see, the trends that is going on globally, and bring that back home, and we share that with us. And we'll continue to support the initiative that government have put in place under the blueprint. We're excited about the blueprint. We thank you for your commitment. I can say it's been extremely easy to have meetings with all your officers, something that is really, really great, because when you have a challenge as partners, you want to have discussions, you want to have conversations, and the only conversation you have is during the Connected, in preparation to the Connected, then it doesn't make sense. But we've seen how engaged you are, how you're participating. You don't only call us for this event, you call us for many other things, and we really want to say thank you, thank you, thank you very much. The last part of probably my feedback is, I think we've seen the trend. As part of the technology companies, we see what's happening globally, from the downturn, the global recession, what's happening around the world. So there's a lot of change, and that change necessitates innovation, and necessitates how we become creative to make sure that We maintain our business in the region, we maintain our business across the globe, and we've seen a lot of news in the market. So as we look into the sponsorship, we also want to participate and ensure that we're incorporating some of the ideas into the agenda. One of the big discussions is cloud. How is cloud going to be adopted by government? And we want to have those discussions because they're critical for us to remain competitive, to remain innovative globally. And our focus is to ensure that we have those open discussions, and thanks to the Data Commissioner, been very open and very encouraging. We just read your input for cross-border. Really encouraging, and we want to be part of that government. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited to be part of this journey, and we're looking forward to be with you in the next event in April. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Bune. Another round of applause for him, please. And of course, his call in terms of adopting that global best practice, even as we move forward for both public and private sector. At this point in time, I'd also like to call upon another partner from Connected 2022. I'd like to call on stage Fred Waithaka. He's the head of regulatory and public policy at Safaricom. A round of applause for Mr. Waithaka as he comes on stage.
The CS ICT, Mr. Eli Dowalo, PS ICT, Sir Joe Tanui, CEO, ICTA, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Today is a great day because it's a day that continues an engagement that we've had as an industry towards ensuring a greater connectedness to our nation. As Safaricom, we continue on with this journey. We assure ICTA, we assure the government of our continued participation in the continued rolling out of the digital agenda in all its forms, both at the wholesale and also at the retail level. And we look forward to even further engagement as we do move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for those words, Mr. Waithaka. At this point in time, I'd like to call upon the Chairman, ICT Authority Board, Professor Frederick Owino, to take our program forward. A round of applause for our chair as he comes on stage.
This is just protocol. That we are here, the CS is coming. Let's give him time to settle to breakfast. But this is not a speech at all, it's a protocol. That when I have addressed you, then I request my permanent secretary to come up here to address you, and the permanent secretary will, in turn, invite the CS to address you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. John, please.
Our CS, Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, Honorable Eliud Owalo, the Chairman of ICT Authority, Professor Frederick Owino, CEO, ICT Authority, Stanley Kamanguya, the Board of ICTA and Management Team, the CEOs here from private sector and public sector, the professionals and leaders from the ICT industry. Good morning. It's really a great pleasure for me to join this community today and to prepare for our next Connected. I thank all of you for finding time to be here today to attend the Connected Summit 2023 Stakeholders Breakfast. Connected Summit comes at a time when the government of Kenya has made very key strides in integrating ICT into the public service delivery to increase both effectiveness and efficiency. The ICT sector in Kenya has continued to grow and has made very great strides. Going by the number of the stakeholders gathered here in this room today, it signifies another great milestone for us. I started my journey in the private sector, and I'm very happy to be with colleagues here who we've been together for those many years, and Connected has been one of the programs that has continued to bring us together and has been so instrumental in ensuring certain key programs that have had huge impact in our country takes off. The collaboration and synergy between government and the private sector has fast-tracked the creation of a robust ICT ecosystem in our country. It has seen many innovations, birthed and Kenya now becoming a leading investment destination in Africa with huge potential, which this program will continue to enhance. It's my hope, therefore, that the collaboration will continue as we all work towards seeing the fourth industrial revolution take root in our country and see our people participate in this agenda. It was very good to see the 2 exhibitions of the winners of the Innovation Challenge. Thanks to Oracle for your sponsorship and support, and to see them participating in some of these fourth industrial revolution and technologies of the future, robotics, artificial intelligence, and many others. Ladies and gentlemen, the State Department of ICT and the Digital Economy continues to support the ICT Authority in its mandate in delivering the ICT services to the country as per its mandate. The authority's board, under the leadership of Professor Owino, has really continued to take leadership, and in his own statement has really elaborated that they are providing a platform for the private sector to play its role, and all the other agencies also to play its role, so that we can deliver the huge mandate ahead of us. As we all know, ICT is delivering key flagship projects by our government, which our CS will be enumerating. The agendas he has set and agreed with the leadership of our country that we are all embarking. ICT Authority, we want to assure you of our support as a ministry and a State Department. I call upon all private sector players to collaborate with our ICT Authority and the other agencies to work together in partnership. We've had several engagements in the last few weeks with the private sector. First, on the digital superhighway, we've had discussions with all the players who are involved in building the infrastructure and see how we can bring synergy in that sector. We've also had discussions on how we can commercialize, which CEO mentioned is one of the focus now. How do we achieve sustainability in the infrastructure that we are putting in place? We are looking at working with the other players within the different registration regime to ensure they play a role towards delivering an experience and services to our people. Ladies and gentlemen, the digital economy journey, as envisioned by our President, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, has started. The benefits of a flourishing digital economy is the greatest offering we can give to our children and the next generation. And we indeed owe them. We are in this position of leadership at such a time, and it's for us to really ensure we open opportunities for our people to be able to access global opportunities from wherever they are. In conclusion, allow me to invite our leader, who is our chief guest, our CS, the Cabinet Secretary of Information, Communication, and Digital Economy, to give us an address and share some of the key things he's leading us to deliver as a ministry and also as a sector, because in him, all of us will be able to deliver the great dream and vision in the plan of our government. Welcome, our CS, Eliud Owalo.
So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to be here this morning for this summit. In fact, the summit could not have come at a better time when the government is rolling out a very, very ambitious digitalization of services program. As you are aware, our government development agenda is premised on the bottom-up economic transformational blueprint. And everything that we are doing as government today is aligned to that. Within that economic blueprint, ladies and gentlemen, the digital superhighway is a standalone thematic area. And it was deemed appropriate to have it as a key result area because the wisdom at that point in time, when it was conceptualized, was that all the other facets of what we wanted to do required ICT, both as an enabler and a critical success factor moving forward. So as a ministry of ICT and the digital economy, based on our mandate, we are charged with the responsibility of translating that vision of digital superhighway into results. And to begin with, by way of ICT infrastructure, we intend to roll out 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, so that those parts of the country that hitherto have not been adequately enabled by way of ICT infrastructure are connected, so that we have got a reliable and stable internet infrastructure in all parts of the country. As you are aware, because you have already had meetings, I think even working sessions with the ministry last week but one in Naivasha, we will be working with the private sector to roll out this. The government itself can only undertake, or it is envisioned that as government we will only undertake 52% of that. The remaining 48% has to be rolled out by the private sector. So we are looking forward to working with the private sector in realizing that integral objective, ladies and gentlemen. Again, in that space of ICT infrastructure, as opposed to just reducing the cost of data, we are going ahead as government to ensure that where we can, we are facilitating access to free internet for members of the public. And in that vein, we intend to roll out to the tune of 25,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots, targeting integral components of the society which are involved in businesses at the bottom of the economic pyramid. So for example, in Nairobi, we have already launched at the city market. We have done one at Mudhura market. We have done another one at the market in Nyeri. We have done another one in Nandi, another one in Kericho, Bondo, Ahero, just to mention but a few. And that process will be progressing. We envisage that by June this year, we shall have set up at least 2 of those free Wi-Fi internet hotspots in each and every county within the Republic of Kenya. We are also establishing and operationalizing a total of 1,450 digital village hubs at the ward level, so that our youth are able to get adequate ICT skills within the villages, and then simultaneously we'll be linking them up with tech companies for purposes of digital jobs. Once this infrastructure is in place, it is the intention of government to ensure that we digitalize all government services. We have already made quite remarkable milestones in this regard. We have taken over the eCitizen platform, which hitherto was in the hands of the private sector. It is now a fully owned government entity. By the time we took it over, we were at 350 services onboarded that virtual platform. We are now at 780 as we speak today. our hypothesis is that we will be doing an average of 300 services onboarded every week, which translates to 1,200 services in a month. And in effect, within the next 4 months, we should be able to attain the threshold of the envisaged 5,000 government services about that technological platform, which is the proposition that has been espoused in public at the highest echelons of government. So that target, in our estimation, is both achievable and realistic. But to facilitate this, we also want to introduce a major intervention, which is the digital identity. Now, the rationale or conceptualization of the digital identity is informed by the fact that we don't need Kenyans to visit government offices physically flashing an identity card to consume good government services. Once we onboard the government services on technological platforms, Kenyans should be able to transact business with government from the comfort of wherever they are. And this is why we are introducing this digital identity into that space. Tomorrow we are actually having a team from India coming in to do for us some presentations, because that is one of the best case examples. We have engaged Estonia in this regard, we have engaged Pakistan, we have a team from India coming in tomorrow so that we are able to see what we can adapt and customize to fit our peculiar situation as far as issue of digital identification is concerned. If we achieve that, then we should be having a seamless communication or interaction between government and members of the public. Let us not confuse it with the Huduma number. Whenever we talk about digital identity, people say, oh, we want to reintroduce the Huduma number. That is not what we are doing. We have to look at it from a conceptual perspective, that we need to identify Kenyans electronically. We should be able to do that while leveraging on what? On technology. So we are not carrying forward the baggage of the Huduma number, okay? That Huduma number itself was anchored on the same conceptual framework, that we need a digital means of identifying what? Kenyans. It had its challenges. Those are lessons learned. We will learn from that so that we don't get into the same pitfalls by doing it right this time around. But we are determined to achieve this by February 2024. We should be having the digital identity in place. With that infrastructure in place, the next ambitious program we are embarking on as government is to ensure that we have got a commensurate level of digital skills within members of the public, Kenyan public, and also in the public sector, especially touching on integral components of the public service, such as the health, the education, the security apparatus, the revenue collection, just to mention but a few, so that that commensurate level of digital skills will then facilitate optimal uptake of the ICT infrastructure that we are introducing into the market. We are also going the extra mile to pursue digital entrepreneurship. Our first target is smart-enabled phones. As you are aware, we have already rolled out the Hustler Fund while leveraging on the existing technological platforms owned by the telecos. The question that we need to start asking ourselves, if that money is targeting those operating at the bottom of the economic pyramid, do they all have smart-enabled phones? Can they afford smart-enabled phones? So there's a void there, there's a gap there. So we have already engaged the telecos. They have come together, as much as they are competitors, they have come together for purposes of filling that void. They enjoy economies of scale and embark on an ambitious program of manufacture of cheap, smart-enabled telephones. And based on feasibility studies that have been undertaken, we envisage that we should be able to have locally produced smart-enabled telephones at a cost of about $40 per unit, ladies and gentlemen. And in that same space, we are also going to pursue the manufacture of computer software. As you are aware, we have got the Konza Technopolis, which is our own version of the Silicon Savannah. within the Konza Technopolis, we already have the basic minimum infrastructure that is requisite of a smart city. So we are appealing to the private sector to invest within that Konza space. We already have a fully fledged data center there. Quite a number of government institutions and agencies are already storing their data there. We want the private sector not just to store data there, but also explore the possibility of setting up additional data centers. I think based on projections, the market can still absorb another 2 additional data centers. But most importantly, we want to leverage on yourself and your networks so that we get the private sector to invest within Konza. Because Konza will be the impetus that we require to position Kenya effectively as the ICT hub of Africa. We are also going ahead, ladies and gentlemen, to pursue e-commerce so that we move away from the traditional way of doing business, but we leverage on technology to facilitate e-commerce, all the way from the production processes up to the market. And one integral intervention, again, we are introducing is the digital, the national addressing system. We will be engaging stakeholders as far as we come up with this so that we have an appropriate policy framework and legal framework on the basis of which this is anchored. But we are determined to go to the full hog so that we have the requisite infrastructure that would facilitate e-commerce in the Kenyan market. Finally, of course, we will be engaging stakeholders depending on unfolding events from time to time, so that we seek your views, because all that we are doing has to be anchored on an enabling policy and legal framework. And that requires constant engagement with various stakeholder segments. Perhaps this is just one of them, and we want really to entertain constant engagement between ourselves as a ministry and also the private sector, so that in whatever we are doing, the integral views of the private sector get integrated into those processes. Against that background, which I found imperative for purposes of just espousing what we are planning as a ministry and by extension government within the digital space, allow me now, ladies and gentlemen, to read the official speech. So our PS, Engineer John Tanui, the chairman of ICTA, Professor Owino, CEO of ICTA, Stanley, and of course, captains of industry, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to join you at this Connected Summit 2023 breakfast. It is always good for the government to compare notes with critical stakeholders through gatherings such as this one. We are all the richer for such efforts. We collectively seek and find solutions to the challenges facing us. We confront them jointly and walk into the future while moving in tandem and confident. The digital platform partnership between the government and the private sector has seen the Connected Forum grow from a small meeting in 2009 to the regional ICT giant that it is today. This forum, ladies and gentlemen, is now in its 12th cycle, and in the intervening years, the summit has become a catchment for great ICT ideas and an invaluable basket of solutions to ever-emerging challenges in the ICT industry. Our collective efforts in the digital technology space have placed Kenya on the global map as a leading ICT hub. We are home to innovative and unique technologies such as M-Pesa. This groundbreaking innovation has disrupted the fintech sector, not only in Kenya, but also globally. Because of our robust digital ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen, molded by our enabling legal, regulatory, and policy framework, Kenya has become a favorite host to several multinational tech companies. These companies, ladies and gentlemen, have distinguished themselves as all-weather partners. They are our friends both in fair weather and in bad weather. Apart from contributing to our tax kitty, these entities employ many Kenyans. They have also opened up many e-commerce opportunities for self-employment purposes. Today, our ICT ecosystem also enjoys great goodwill from the highest office in the land. The important premium that we place on ICT has seen us identify the digital superhighway as one of the 5 pillars of our Kenya Kwanza government development blueprint. For its part, our digital master plan places accent on another 5 pillars in which every one of us here today has one role or the other to play. These include digital infrastructure, digital services and data storage or management, the digital skills, digital enterprise and innovation, and of course, an enabling policy, legal and regulatory framework, ladies and gentlemen. Your role, therefore, as an integral stakeholder is going to be even more significant going forward, for the government is transferring all its services to the digital platform. The progress is already very cheering, ladies and gentlemen, and Kenyans countrywide can now access government services through the eCitizen platform or at the respective Huduma centers. These 2 platforms are products of the Connected Forum from our previous meetings. Going forward, therefore, the government expects to broaden and deepen cooperation with the stakeholders for a vibrant digital economy. In this regard, the Kenya National Digital Master Plan is very important for investors. It will help them to plan well their investment priorities and, of course, by extension, aligned to the overall government development agenda. Kenya also remains a trustworthy member of global digital technology forums. We have been faithful to our commitment to implement international ICT covenants and all protocols that we have entered into as codified in various global instruments, ladies and gentlemen. Separately, we recognize that ICT is at once an enabler and economic accelerator. It is for this reason, ladies and gentlemen, that His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, has placed ICT at the core of public service delivery. I've been briefed that this summit is hosting very high-level discussions, the Women in Tech Forum and the County Engagement Forum. You are also going to have high-level panel discussions on digital infrastructure, digital services, digital skills, and cybersecurity, among other strategic discussions. This will go a long way in providing the best strategies for deploying the flagship projects in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto. Our flagship projects, as I had already espoused earlier, ladies and gentlemen, include the development of the 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic infrastructure, rolling out of 25,000 government-funded hotspots for public access to Wi-Fi countrywide, rolling out of 1,450 innovation hubs targeting all wards countrywide, accelerating the digitization of records and digitalization of government services, of all core government services. And in that regard, ladies and gentlemen, we are targeting e-health management system. We are targeting strengthening our revenue management framework so that we don't have revenue leakages on one hand, but also to enable KRA to be able to collect revenue at source. We are targeting the lands management system, also the lands registry, where there's quite a bit of clogging. We want to unlock that, leveraging on technology. Issues to do with immigration, issues to do with border control, and also issues to do with the education sector. We want to pursue illiteracy starting from the lowest levels, ladies and gentlemen. This is in addition to availing common services in an online portal for ease of access to ICT by citizens. And this has begun with the digitization of government records. The implementation of the National Physical Addressing System and implementation of the National Spatial Data Infrastructure to promote growth of e-commerce are also on the pipeline. Then there's the training in digital literacy, as well as the legal and regulatory framework, depending on unfolding events from time to time, that we as a ministry are ready to facilitate the review of. I wish you great deliberations and also look forward to the April 2023 Connected Summit. As the captains of industry, you are our thought leaders. Accordingly, you are expected to continue giving the country ideas and solutions that will make our national ICT flagship projects a reality. To their challenges. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to reiterate my ministry's commitment to providing equal and quality ICT public service to all citizens, regardless of their geographical location. In this regard, we will continuously engage as a sector. My approach is that of an open door collaboration policy in line with our bottom-up economic model. We believe, ladies and gentlemen, that the only critical success factor to revitalizing the economy is ICT. It is the only and singular option that we have to re-engineer the operations of government and revitalize the Kenyan economy. We believe that working together with you people from the private sector, we should be able to not just position Kenya effectively as the ICT hub of Africa, but also leverage on ICT for purposes of comparative advantage of our country within the space of the global economy. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Another round of applause for the CS tafadhali. CS Owalo, sorry, my microphone wasn't working when I was off stage. I'd like to ask you to please come on stage. Again, if you could please kindly indulge us. 2 photo ops that are taking place. And as he comes on stage, I'd also like to call on stage PS Tanui to please come on stage as well. CEO, ICT Authority, Stanley Tafadhali, please come on stage. The chair of the ICT board and the board of the ICT Authority as well to please come on stage for this first photo op. So for those members of the board who are present, the chair, CEO of the ICT Authority, please come on stage for that quick photo. Thank you so much. Okay, we'd also like to call Fiona from TESPOC to join this particular photo op. So sorry, just one more photo. You know, we have to capture all of these moments as we tell the story of Connected Summit. We don't want to leave anyone behind, any personality behind on this. Okay, could you please also call on stage the CEOs present from the partners that we have for Connected Summit 2022. For those on stage, please don't go yet. We're almost done. Yeah, you can still remain there. Keep smiling. We're almost there. For the CEOs who are present from the partners that we have for Connected 2022, please come on stage as well, the CEOs. And as they come on stage, we'd also like to call our data commissioner to please come on stage. Kasaid, the only in East and Central Africa, to please come on stage as well for a photo at this point. So for all the CEOs present, please come on stage. And our data commissioner as well. You'll also get guidance from our photographers on how to arrange for this particular photo op. Some of you might have to move to the other side. Please do that. Don't leave anyone out. Is everyone in frame and in the photo, photographers? Thumbs up on that. Okay. And I believe we are good on that one. Now we have one last, I'm sorry, gentlemen and ladies, one last photo. So the CEOs can have their seats on that. Data Commissioner, please remain there. I know it's a bit of photography, choreography going on right now, but they're almost done. No, Madam Fiona, please remain as well. And this is the last photo. We are done. After this one, you all have our seats. So to make sure we're in order there, keep smiling. There we have it. Thank you so much. You can all have your seats now. Asante sana. You can have your seats. And a round of applause for them. Thank you so much. And thank you for being so gracious for us, for posing for that particular photo. After them, we'd like to call upon the thought leaders present, those representing academia who are in the room, and also part of this particular conversation that is very pertinent as well. So if you're representing academia, a thought leader in this particular space would actually ask you to please come on stage. The thing is, I can see a couple of you. I don't want to name names. I don't want to be that MC. Don't make me be that MC. Thank you very much. I can see them coming right there from Moringa School. Do you have anyone else in the room? If you're a representative again or that, please come on stage. You can also wave on stage. Don't worry. It is allowed. Thank you so much as you come on stage for that particular photo op as well. I'd ask these thought leaders to remain there. And as is the nature of live events, this does happen. So again, I would ask upon our very gracious chief guest, CS Owalo, because I have been told it is not a photo if you're not there. So please, CS, please come on stage for this final photo op. Thank you so much. Asante sana. Okay, final call on this one. If there's, okay, those from academia can have their seats. I want to make sure you do this very seamlessly. The CS will remain there. Thought leaders from academia, thank you so much. You can have your seats. If there's anyone else who has been left out on this particular photo op, this is a final call before the CS officially launches Connected Summit 2023. Is there anyone who has been left out? Looking around the room, starting from the left side, going all the way down to the center. Down to my extreme right, almost feels like an auction, going once, going twice. Is there someone? I believe, is she coming up? No, she's receiving a call. Yes. So is anyone else who has been left out? I believe not, so we can conclude it at that particular point in time. But we have been asked to ask our chief guest to officially launch Connected Summit 2023. So you'll declare it officially launched. That is it.
Okay. I now declare this summit officially launched.
Thank you so much. Asante sana. You can now have your seats. I promise I will not call you back on stage. That is done and dusted. As we come to the tail end of our program this particular morning, I'd like to call on stage Director Shared Services at the ICT Authority, Mr. Michael Odhiambo, to give the vote of thanks.
Sorry, I'll do this on behalf of Michael. Let's all thank the chief guest, Give him a Kenyan warm applause. Thank you so much. With the chief guest didn't come alone. He came with PS, State Department, ICT and Digital Economy. Give him a round of applause. This would not have been possible if we didn't have our board. We thank you, chairman and board directors. And the person who he sleeps, I don't know what time he sleeps, CEO ICTA, Stanley Kamanguya. Please give him a round of applause. He has ably led us to the point where we are today. And thank you, sir, for every support. He's not alone. He has friends. We have our data commissioner. Thank you so much. And MD for KBC, representatives of Konza, our sister agencies, Konza, CA, and all the other agencies that came, and this would not have been possible if you partners connected. This baby called Connected would not have grown to where it is from 2009 up to where it is today. Let's give a round of applause to all ourselves. And with that, we say thank you all. We still have a cup of tea and Kenyan coffee. Please don't go without that. And the next session is to, now it will be at the pleasure of our chief guest. When the chief guest will leave, that is when we will all leave. Thank you and have a fantastic day.
Technology is the new horizon. It is the way to go. The primary objective is to ensure that we empower Kenyans by way of technology so that we are able to move away from the traditional ways of doing business and leverage on e-commerce.
Sisi kama ICT Authority, what we are doing is part of the bigger initiative of installing the digital superhighway in the Republic of Kenya, which we really hope that is going to give our people an opportunity to expand their markets and also to get jobs online.
We will be putting infrastructure on the ground so that you can be interconnected. The authority wishes to work with all counties in the country to spread the digital services that can be provided.
This is a milestone for both the ICT and trade sectors that will drive the digital economy. Our vision is to leverage on technology to turn Kenya into an empowered and digitalized Kenyan society.
It will be good to be in this summit. We will be able to network and share experiences with the other players from different parts of the East Africa region. And we are going to address some of the gaps in these forums and find areas of collaboration across the region.
Technology is the new horizon. It is the way to go. The primary objective is to ensure that we empower Kenyans by way of technology so that we are able to move away from the traditional ways of doing business and leverage on e-commerce.
Sisi kama ICT Authority, what we are doing is part of the bigger initiative of installing the digital superhighway in the Republic of Kenya, which we really hope that is going to give our people an opportunity to expand their markets and also to get jobs online.
We will be putting infrastructure on the ground so that you can be interconnected. The authority wishes to work with all counties in the country to spread the digital services that can be provided.
This is a milestone for both the ICT and trade sectors that will drive the digital economy. Our vision is to leverage on technology to turn Kenya into an empowered and digitalized Kenyan society.
It will be good to be in this summit. We will be able to network and share experiences with the other players from different parts of the East Africa region. And we are going to address some of the gaps in these forums and find areas of collaboration across the region.